Hey guys, Prithviraj here. Hope you guys are doing great. So today we're taking a closer look at the Dell XPS 15. We have been using it almost for a month right now, and we have a lot to share in this video. So let's not waste any time and get right into it. And you're watching The Adventures of Vesper. Let's begin. The last time when we reviewed the Dell XPS was the Dell XPS 13 2-in-1, and that was about 2 to 3 years ago. Then after that, we didn't get to check out the new Dell XPS laptop until this one came into the lab thanks to Dell Malaysia. But with that said, there aren't a lot of changes going on under the hood because truth be told, it still has that XPS DNA to it to make the laptop look very XPS-esque. And at the very same time, the only difference that you're going to notice is mainly the specification. But if you have used the previous Dell XPS laptops, you may notice certain small hints of changes that makes this one a lot better. Now let's just take a closer look at the specification because that's where things come to life with this laptop. Unlike the XPS 13 or the smaller variants, which usually comes with a U series processor or much more power efficient processor, this one doesn't come with that. Instead, it comes with a 10th generation Intel Core i7 10750H processor. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a H series processor, which means it's a powerful processor under this machine. And followed by that, unlike the smaller variants, which would come with a much more discrete GPU, this one comes with a NVIDIA GeForce 1650 Ti GPU under the hood. And as for the rest, you get 32 gigs of RAM, 1 TB of PCIe NVMe M.2 SSD, which is super fast by the way, and the whole laptop is literally locked and loaded for years to come. Now, knowing that this is a Dell XPS laptop and it's the Dell XPS 15 and that specification, Dell laptops are generally very pricey, but for a lot of good reasons, which is why I actually decided to do this video. Because initially when we looked at the price tag for this particular variant, okay, tell you what, go to Dell's website, go to the Dell XPS 15 laptop, configure the exact same specification. I'm gonna put these specs right now on the screen and look at the price. Like, do it now. Like, seriously, do it now. Pause the video here and do it now. I hope you're done. So yeah, so that's the exact sentiment I felt with the Dell XPS 15. I was like, why is it so pricey? It comes in at a 5-figure price tag for a Malaysian, ringgit. And the best part is that if you're really looking for a laptop that requires like a GPU and whatsoever, you actually have other alternatives in the market that it does way beyond than this laptop, and at the very same time you can even get it for an affordable price tag. The reason why people kind of omit the XPS from the whole choice of laptop is because what you're getting here is something that you would not get with a much more affordable laptop, even with a better specification. Number one, the display is unmatched for it. It's one of the, or if not the best 4K UHD OLED panel I have ever seen in my entire life on a laptop, hands down. The color is so beautiful. Literally the pixel per inch rate for this laptop is ridiculous because it's a 4K 15-inch display, so which means it looks so poppy and it's very mesmerizing to a point that you just can't take your eyes away from that. So that is what makes this particular display really cool. And also at the very same time, Dell has not gone for any sort of like gimmicky camera setup, so they rather kept the camera on top with the Windows Hello feature, so which means you can unlock with your face. And also at the very same time, the bezels are super thin, unlike the previous generation where you may see a slight thickness to it, but right now it's completely shaved off and is much more clean and really nice to look at. And next up is obviously the keyboard itself. The keyboard on the Dell XPS 15 is nice to use. It's a chiclet style keyboard and it's kind of a low profile keyboard. It falls somewhere in between 1 mm and 1.3 to 4 mm because it actually feels that way. So as in a general chiclet style keyboard, you actually have a key travel of 1.5 to 1.6. But for the most part, this one right here did feel all right. It wasn't as bad as what you would experience on the butterfly key switches that we have seen in other laptops in the past. but this one definitely is a nice keyboard to type on. The arrow keys are, I mean, honestly, it could be better, but for the most part, you're not going to game on this machine. So, and the speakers on the laptops are located on the side of the keyboard, and the speaker in this one is sweet. And it sounds really good thanks to the Max Audio Pro application under the hood that actually enhances the audio, kind of like it's a one-click key kind of sorts. So once you enable it, then the speaker comes to life. If you turn it off, then the speaker actually has this really reserved feeling that it's like I'm shy and I don't want to make so much of noise kind of feel to it. But once you toggle it on, you actually have really good response to the speaker. The sound quality is phenomenal, and I just like the laptop overall. There wasn't any sort of compromise. But the only area that you might kind of feel that it is a I wouldn't say a letdown, because Dell XPS has been the same for years so far, and you get 3 USB Type-C port and 1 headphone jack, which is nice because another Ultrabook actually ditched the headphone jack, which is kind of hard. It's a tough pill to swallow, but I'm glad Dell actually kept it. And also at the same time, you get a full-size SD card slot, so you can kind of guess like who is this laptop made for. So yeah, so that's the whole idea behind this laptop. Using this laptop was pretty nice, and also at the same time, the fan can get a little loud, especially on max load if you're trying to use Premiere Pro or even use Lightroom for the matter, just to edit or touch up certain pictures. It just does get loud, and also at the very same time, it's kind of annoying and you cannot control the fans. So it's kind of something that you just really need to live with. And also at the very same time, this particular laptop comes with a 130 watt charger. So do take note, if you're really planning to get a third-party charger outside with a USB Type-C to C, make sure to look for the GaN-based chargers, because those actually have a much more higher power rating and you can actually get them from a lot of really good places. If you're planning to go for the traditional 65 watt charger, it does not support. It will still drain, because we tried our personal 65 watt charger just to see how it actually works, and it turns out it just doesn't charge at all. And they will actually give you a warning that you're using an incompatible 65 watt charger on a 130 watt laptop, because yeah, so something to keep note of. Now let's just get into the whole conclusion of this laptop, because we have talked about some of the good things about this laptop. Now, who is this Dell XPS 15 for? Now, in the sea of creators out there, and when I talk about like creators, the pro creators out there, they always want a really good laptop in the market. Now, Apple laptops have always been the staple go-to choice for pro creators because of its really good efficiency and also at the very same time really good battery life on the go. Now that is something that Windows cannot hit at all, because especially when you're max load, you definitely need to look for an outlet for you to connect a charger so that you can actually get the best experience out of the laptop. But what Dell decided to do with the XPS is just the fact that the Dell XPS 15 is kind of like a MacBook Pro, but it's just the fact that you keep it in a smaller profile and you bring it all around with you. Now, if you look at the specification of this laptop, you'll notice that it isn't the best specification that you can find in the GPU counterpart, but as for the rest, it's just solid. And that's the whole point, because honestly speaking, the Dell XPS 15 is a really capable laptop. Say for instance, if I do want that really good powered GPU experience on my laptop, I would actually resort to my PC back at home. But say this laptop, where does it fall into place? I would consider this laptop as my go-to machine, especially if I'm taking for travel, for work, or for play for that matter. Because if I'm on work, say for instance, like last year when we get to go to the Computex, one of the issues that I had to face with my laptop was not having the GPU performance in order to actually export videos on time. I had to come all the way back home in order to do that, because that's where my really good GPU laptop is. Now, number two is the fact that this particular laptop actually has a decent GPU. 1650 Ti is not a bad GPU at all. In fact, you can do some editing work under the hood and it still gets my job done. So that is something that I'm really looking for. And the best part is that if you're somebody who really do shoot on something like a flat log of sorts, like my case here, I actually shoot heavily on flat based logs and I actually color grade it accordingly to suit my channel. And that is something that I really need, because a good display is really essential for a good editing experience, and these combined together gives the best laptop out there. So yeah, that's the thing. The Dell XPS 15 is a really good laptop, but the thing is that I would not recommend it to anybody, especially in Malaysia, because given the fact that you can get like really good price laptop and with better specification under the hood, kind of put this laptop a little behind. But say if you're not really into the specification, but you just want a robust laptop, the laptop that gets the job done kind of thing, I would say go for the XPS. But I wouldn't recommend going for the same specification that we reviewed here, because this is kind of overkill if you ask me. I would say tone it down a little, probably go for 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, and then perhaps go for an i5 or an i7 depending on what you're going to use it for, and that should suffice. And if you really want a smaller laptop just to do word processing and whatnot, then probably resort to the XPS 13. So yeah, that's basically it. This is a really quick video, but also at the same time it doesn't really look quick. I hope you enjoyed this video. It kind of feels rushed. I'm so sorry because I'm really busy with my exams and sorts, so hopefully it still is okay. And that's basically it. Make sure to like us on our Facebook, follow us on our Twitter and Instagram, because that's where we post all things tech related. And also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any tech videos from us from here on. Make sure to wear your mask and make sure to protect yourself at all times, because the cases are, as always, rising. So be safe at any cost. Bye.